Ryan, I heard there were some Microsoft things that
Yes,
caught your eye.
some Microsoft things happened. So out of the whole thing, the one I'm most excited about, mostly because it's the one that's coming out the most, like the
Soonest, yeah. Sooner. Yeah, I
soonierest,
don't even know.
is Recore. We got gameplay. I was a little worried because we hadn't seen anything since last E3.
Yeah, which wasn't much. Yeah.
And I think it looks pretty good. I found out that it's a $40 game, which is good.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much an instant buy.
Yeah.
One thing that
I like that games are starting to do that finally.
like Ratchet and Clank was $40.
Yeah,
No
games
brainer.
like
how much
that.
the DLC is.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Who knows what the DLC will be?
I
Maybe
don't
it'll
know.
be $20. Then it'll
40's
be a
just-
$60 game.
40 is such a more attractive
Exactly.
number, like when you're looking at a brand new game than
Yeah.
60. You know,
It is. I wish I wish the other games will come down and start going down to those
Well,
prices.
Ryan had a great idea the other day, but about how they should just give us single player for 40 or whatever, or 30.
$30 or $40.
And then multiplayer, if you want it, you can buy that for 30, whatever. But
like if you want
Yeah.
the multiplayer.
That would be a good idea. I think it would be half and half, like 30.
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't apply to every game.
yeah, not every game, but even
games
like,
games like Call of Duty
Yeah.
and Battlefield and stuff like that have a single player and multiplayer component. I don't really want to pay for the multiplayer
Yeah.
if I'm not gonna.
because you know you're
play
not
it.
going to use it. Yeah, so.
I don't know what happened to him. I don't. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the video.
Oh, that's fine.
It's my internet's not.
Let's turn off the cameras and see if that helps.
I mean, I can hear you guys just fine. No interrupts or anything. Just can't see you.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so Recore, like I said, had the gameplay reveal and everything like that, and it ended up being maybe a little bit more shootery than I thought it was going to be. But from what I understand, there is some strategy to the shooting. Like enemies are color coded, so you have to switch your gun to
That's cool.
be the right color for the gun for the enemy and stuff like that.
Yep.
And you have your robots that you put your cores into in
Yeah.
order to like there's one that helps you traverse over special
Oh, so there's different robots you
portions.
use for different
situations.
situations?
I'm not
Is
sure
that-
exactly how many there are. I think there's a handful of them, and there's one that helps you traverse on these certain surfaces. Then there's like one that I think is more combat focused.
Yep.
That's like a big brute kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you're gonna, I don't know if before you go into combat or an area, you got to decide what core you need, or if you can do it on the fly, or what the deal is, or maybe they only show up at certain areas. I'm not really sure, but it looks like a good combination of shooting and platforming, which I'm kind of looking forward to.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's coming out in the beginning of September.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, which is right around the corner, like kind of kicking off that
That fall.
Yep.
Yep.
There's always that game that comes out
starts
first.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
that starts. And at $40, it's kind of irresistible.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
And of course, they announced that just about every Microsoft published game is coming to Xbox One and Windows 10.
Yep.
So
I like that.
with cross buy. So if
Red's pumped.
if you buy it on one, you get it on both.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's cool, too. I do like that.
So I'll probably be getting that and probably playing it on PC.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be doing. But instead of playing on Xbox, I'm definitely going to be playing it on a PC.
That's cool. Yeah, because you don't have an Xbox, but you have a good PC. So a lot of these games now, Red, you can
No, I
play.
have an Xbox.
Oh, do you?
I have an Xbox, but the only disadvantage to being where I am is that you have the power constraints with it. That you have to use a transformer, and it creates too much noise and makes it harder for you to play a game. So being able to play it and have that cross-buy type thing makes it really good for me because I'll be able to play it on my PC and not have to worry about hearing that really loud transformer in the background.
Yeah, it really seems like Microsoft's committed to the PC, Xbox One, creating a single ecosystem as opposed because there's cross play as well with some games.
Yep. Well, you saw that advertisement. They were, showing people playing their game on their laptop, their tablet, all these different.
Well,
You could start it on your Xbox and continue it
I
on your laptop, whatever. So
I
I
do
mean,
hope that they continue to push this though, that cross buy, but that it doesn't happen to be just an Xbox like Microsoft made games thing only. That it ends up being everything.
That's
like
the thing.
all
It's
the
like
games to it.
it seems like they're committed with Microsoft published games. Like they announced it with Recore, Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3,
Yep.
State of Decay, Dead Rising 4. All of these are they're being published by Microsoft, so they're going to appear in the Windows 10 store and they're going to be cross-buy.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know if they can enforce that outside of
First party.
first-party publishing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what they're trying to do is showing the example and hoping the other publishers catch on and be like, yeah, this is a cool thing that is getting my games bought and played on more platforms because Microsoft's offering it across the.
Well, it does take away a little bit from, but then you got to remember the people that might have like 3 copies of GTA 5 because they wanted to play with their friends on like 3 different systems. This does make it better for you.
That's kind of the biggest pain in the ass. Is like
it is. It really is. I mean, I'm primarily a Sony fan. I tend to like PlayStation over Xbox, but this is one thing that I can tell you that Xbox is hands down got over Sony. Being able to swap that between your PC makes it so much better for some people because not everybody has an Xbox, like you said. And let's say that you do have your PC, you can play the game and it's cross-buy. When you get an Xbox and you want to play it with the Xbox friends, you can play with your Xbox friends. Yeah, you already have it. You might be able to enjoy it in a new environment, or let's say you're using a mouse and keyboard on your PC, you can go and use your controller on your Xbox. I mean, it's really, really smart, in my opinion.
Oh, Halo Wars 2 was the other one they said that.
Yeah, Halo Wars.
That actually is probably when you hear this, the beta will be over, but they announced a multiplayer beta was going on the week of E3. And I checked that out. It was pretty cool.
Yep.
It's Halo Wars. It's the same thing as the first one. A little performance issues on Xbox One, but it's not coming out for like 8 months or something like that. So I'm sure they'll take care of all of that.
The S will be out by then.
But I'll probably be playing it on PC because I'll want a mouse and keyboard for a strategy game. The other announcement that caught my eye was State of Decay 2. Which I'm excited for because I really liked the first one. That game had issues.
Glitches.
Glitches and a lot of performance issues and stuff like that.
Even the Xbox One port wasn't quite.
Yeah, it wasn't great, and that's where I played most of it on. It was really bad. But the PC version's a little bit better. But even that had some issues that really was inexcusable. I think it was just like it was their own engine. They built it from the ground up, and it just wasn't optimized very well at all. So the sequel seems to be taking care of some of that, and more importantly, adding co-op, which was something that felt like it was missing from the first game. So what makes this State of Decay special is like you get thrown into this world infested by zombies, and you have to build up a base by finding survivors, bringing them back, and you'll find a doctor. And you'll assign them to be a doctor. You'll assign somebody to be like lookout and stuff like that. And build up your base, fortify it, and kind of scavenge things throughout the world. It was cool. I wasn't when I went into it. I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah. And
then I ended up playing it way more than I thought I would. So I'm definitely looking forward to.
Well, it's one of those games. I feel like it can get addicting. Like the building something from the ground up, and you feel like it's yours. There's something powerful about that. So.
Definitely, and it was more systems heavy than than a lot of the other zombie games.
Yeah.
So, and I like systems.
I have a question for you. Do you think that there are a lot of games that are pushing towards this zombie apocalypse survival thing? I mean, I've noticed that over the last maybe 2-3 years, this is a huge theme.
Honestly, dude, like ever since The Walking Dead really hit popularity, you notice it.
Yeah. Do you think it's overkill at this
little
point?
bit.
Do you think they should be making more of these, should they just stop?
That was actually one of the reasons why Days Gone didn't strike me as much as it struck other people. It was like, it's just like just another zombie game.
Yeah.
And so does now as a game design, someone that's done that with game design and so forth, don't you think that would take away from that company itself by doing this? I mean, and you were talking about how games they're got all these quirks and so forth. In this day and age with games, do you think they should have all these type of quirks? Is that acceptable?
I think it depends on the game.
You mean like glitches and performance issues?
Yeah, performance issues and glitches in with your UI or your game engine. I mean, with the amount of time that they take to develop these games and the quality of these games, along with the technology that we have now, is it something that should be considered acceptable from these gaming industries?
Oh, it really shouldn't be, especially you think of recent examples like the way Assassin's Creed Unity launched.
Yeah.
The way the Halo Master Chief Collection launched. Like, a lot of these games just came out broken, and it just kind of like, it's like, so we have these new consoles and better PCs, but we're getting these games that are more broken than ever, either because the publishers are rushing them, or they didn't have. I don't know
if I'm catching this out of turn.
The scope was too big.
The scope was too big for the team or something like that.
They were too ambitious, and they didn't have enough time to finish it. And another thing that's kind of hurt the industry in general is the fact that they can do after launch patches
and stuff like that.
With the new what is it, the Scorpion or
Scorpion.
Xbox
right
One
now it's
S?
called Project Scorpio, and the Xbox
Scorpio.
One S is going to be the Xbox One Slim.
Yeah.
But finally they're going to have a power unit inside the box, guys. So
nice. So do you think that this is going to actually make these flaws show up again? I mean,
dude, I hope it improves things.
So the Xbox One S
reading
is just
from the Scorpio is
that
that it's supposed to be like a PC in an Xbox shell. Massive graphics card, great RAM,
6 teraflops.
Super powerful gaming console.
It's not. It's not a PC in a box. The Scorpio, they've come out and they've said that it's a system on chip. So it's like a processor, graphics card combo, one chip.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's not going to be exactly like a PC in a box. It's going to be some sort of, I don't know, proprietary architecture that
it's going to be just
you develop games for.
It's an enhanced version of the Xbox One, basically. But I've heard some people make this good point, because Microsoft and Sony's big thing right now with these new consoles is we're not going to leave anyone behind. Doing that, like you're not going to be able to take full advantage of these new boxes you're bringing out if you still have to make a game capable on the less powerful hardware. So it's almost like, give us a new generation and make games exclusive for those consoles, or almost
but
what's the point?
It's too soon to make a new generation.
I agree.
I agree. I mean, you gotta take into consideration how long the Xbox 360 and how long the PlayStation 3 had been out for.
Well, that happened also. I mean, new consoles probably would have launched sooner if the economy didn't crash back in like 2008. But
possibly.
I mean, that's what they say. Like they realized like people didn't really have the money, so we got to like stretch these boxes out. But even the original Xbox, that only was a 4-year cycle before the 360 came out. And Scorpio
it also came out late in that generation.
Yeah.
It didn't launch day and date with the PlayStation 2.
There's only so much that you can advance in right now. 4K TVs, I mean, is the newest advancement. When do you think they're going to go and advance that? If you keep coming out with something new, you end up wasting money and people are going to get frustrated.
That's what
and you're
the
making
Scorpio is
no reason.
targeted at.
4K.
It's meant to be a 4K gaming machine.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Spencer actually said straight out that if you don't have a 4K TV to take advantage of this, you're probably not going to notice the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to notice the
exactly.
benefits of it. So
He's like, so buy the Xbox One Slim if you only have a 1080p TV.
I'm
or
just
whatever.
playing devil's advocate.
Oh no, dude!
Yeah,
like me and Ryan are both mixed on this whole thing too. So.
the whole thing is that this generation is between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
launched with what a lot of people considered very underpowered hardware.
Out of date, really.
Yeah, out of date hardware, very low end. What the PC was capable of at the time, anyway. And something they got to do something, because what what you're seeing between what was capable of last generation and what's capable of this generation is there isn't really a big jump.
No, the jump wasn't there like the previous gens.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree.
What you're seeing is like bigger worlds.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I like having bigger worlds, but that
Yeah.
doesn't benefit every game.
No, it doesn't, and it's not as like seamless as like it can be. You know, when I was thinking like this new gen, like, you know, think of like a map like GTA, but you can actually like go in every house.
Yeah.
Or you can do this, do that. They just make these worlds bigger, but what are we really getting out of it? You know, it's
Yeah.
like, and like we've been talking
Realism.
about, a lot of it's been just.
A lot of
sequels.
these games, they're trying to and again, this is coming from my background. What I can see from people doing these type of games is you're striving for that realism. You want the person to feel like they're part of that game. So when you go into a building and you walk into somebody's house and you see like shoes thrown around or a game sitting around or something, they want that sense of realism for you. And then it's also the Easter eggs. I noticed that a lot of people love Easter eggs in games.
For sure.
And so you walk into some random person's house and you see, like in a Sony game, Sony PlayStation 1 playing Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see, I mean, that's an example right there of where I still see, like, don't make every single thing open world, because linear can still be beneficial. And I think Uncharted proved that to me anyway. So.
But what you're talking about, Red, with going into somebody's house and seeing that, you're talking more about that in the context of an open world, like being able to go into everybody's house. So yeah, we've seen that being done on a smaller scale with like one room that has a whole bunch of detail in it. But we want to see it on a bigger scale where you have 10 rooms or 15 or 20 rooms with that kind of detail. And the closest thing this generation, and I know I keep beating this drum, but it's The Witcher 3.
Dude, like, because that's the only one that's really like pushed.
It's the most next generation game that I've played this generation anyway.
Yeah, because
and I agree.
You could pretty much
and
go
I think it's an
in and out of every
game.
You know.
Considering
but even that, I mean, it wasn't a seamless open world. Like the Skelly Isles were not. You had to see a loading screen when you went to them. You couldn't just get on a boat and sail to those islands.
Yeah.
So even then it was held back probably by consoles.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like these, we could use this refresh. Like I still think it's probably for the best. But if like they don't want to leave anyone behind, I don't think these new consoles are gonna get the full, because 4K only really goes so far.
And that's
it's not just visuals; it's processing speed, being able to render something that exact moment, and that's what's happening right now. Is that you have this, as you were talking about detail, there's this immense detail, but there's not enough processing speed to render it in real time. So you end up in that loading screen.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I'm concerned. I'm glad that Microsoft is out there saying this is happening.
Yeah,
we're doing this, you know,
and they're giving people time.
They're giving them a big jump. That it's not coming out until holiday next year.
Yeah,
and
so
the way
it's not
that they sold it was very well by getting the game developers up there and saying that this is what we need to make these games something different, something special. And the only thing that is really concerning me is they're both with the Sony leak on the Neo and what Microsoft is talking about the Scorpio is it staying like backwards compatible, quote unquote, with the old hardware. And what I'm interested to see is how long that lasts.
Exactly.
Like,
maybe it's only like a year or two?
If it's a year, then it's probably not going to be that big of a deal.
But
if you're talking about like 2 or 3 years, then you're going to start to see like those consoles holding it back.
Exactly,
we see it with
dude.
games. I mean, we're talking about how this new generation isn't really that much big of a step, but you can see games that launch on both generations. You can see that things were held back.
Yep.
Apparently, one of the reasons why Destiny is the way it is because of those old generations. Like this new update that's coming out for Destiny. I don't know if it'll be seen more in Destiny 2, but they're detaching themselves from the last generation.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
the Taken King and things like that, I don't think that came out on last gen. I think last gen only got, like, the base game and
This
some
is the
stuff.
first expansion that is not last generation.
Oh, no, maybe Taken King was on PS3 and stuff.
So
then.
this is the first one that they're saying
Oh,
last
okay.
generation is not getting this.
Yeah.
Only new generation, and you'll assume that. I can't imagine that there's going to be any games that are coming out.
That's
that are
another.
gonna
You make
be
a good point,
cross-generation.
though, Ryan, with the whole rock and a hard place, because we've had to deal with for these consoles with the cross development with the last gen consoles, because when these ones came out, you had like 80 million install base for
Yeah.
both 360 and PS3, so they didn't want to leave those guys behind. This, like, last year and this year, we've finally gotten games just dedicated to these consoles.
Mm-hmm.
But then next year, we're going to make another jump. So that's why the whole thing, like, I still think there's more you can get out of these consoles if you develop exclusively for them and whatever. But maybe we've already seen that limit, and that's why they need this more power. But
Yeah, that's I think that's what it's coming down to. It's like
yeah.
you're already seeing the developers getting to the limit on these things, like Uncharted 4.
That's
what
probably-
what
yeah.
if Naughty Dog is talking to Sony, is like, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the best we can do.
Yeah.
We're already making sacrifices by making the multiplayer 90p instead of 1080p,
Yeah, yeah.
or 900p instead of 1080p.
Just so they get the
Just
60.
so we can get the frame rate.
Yep.
There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
This is it. And I think there's also a couple of concerns about VR too.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, God. That's a whole nother thing.
because that's kind
Yep.
of where this frame rate thing is going to matter the most.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, and apparently, I just want to, like you said, for what they showed with Zelda, supposedly every Sony game that they showed gameplay was on a standard PS4.
Yeah, I heard that
That's
too,
what they
yeah.
said. So,
Yep.
but I don't know about the VR. I still don't fully believe that the PS4 is going to be able to handle VR.
fully,
yeah.
like full experiences
I'll
in
be
VR and
surprised.
stuff like that. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll also be interesting to see when Sony comes out with their answer to
Yeah.
Scorpio, because
Well, they're the ones who broke the news first, so it's kind of funny that Microsoft one-upped them with this.
no, it's not.
Well, they didn't really break it.
So
but Neo was the rumor first, though.
no, it was Phil Spencer talking about
Well, upgradable consoles.
upgradable consoles,
yeah, true.
going to more of like a model with cell phones.
Yeah.
Where like cell phones a new model comes out every year, and because of that, they're progressing a lot faster than
Yeah.
consoles are. So that's where the talk all started.
That's how it started. And then suddenly we heard about Neo.
Yeah, and then
You're
there was
right.
the leak on the Neo.
Yeah.
And then there was a leak on the Scorpio. And then right before E3, Andrew House was like, "Yeah, we're not showing the
Yeah.
Neo." And then Xbox
Scorpio, yeah.
showed the Scorpio at their conference.
So Sony, honestly, they probably are. If they can, I don't know if these things are already in development, but
Yeah.
they might be trying to adjust this Neo to at least match the Scorpio.
Yeah,
I
it
wouldn't
could
be
be.
surprised.
Because I don't think like releasing a small incremental update to the PlayStation 4 would really serve them very well.
Not
right
really,
now.
dude,
Not
because-
with this looming on in the next year or
Yeah.
something like that.
And you already have 40 million install base as it is.
Yeah.
I don't, you're not going to get that again with only a 0.5
a
update.
small increment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it'll. If anything, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. No, we're in a weird time, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
But at the same time, I think it's. I don't know if I go full throttle into the whole cell phone model of a new
No.
one every couple of years, but
I think 3 is right at the level
Yeah.
of where
it all depends on the price too.
the price.
I mean, this you can't be charging $500 every
No,
3
no.
years, or you're not going to make any money.
Yeah.
No one's going to buy it. It has to be a reasonable price, and we'll see what this ends up being.
Yeah. I mean, because
that's-
this Xbox One Slim's gonna scale games to 4K. So
That's
No.
that's what I'm trying to
Let's do it
argue
if
No,
about
no,
this.
that's just that's not scaling games to 4K. That's just
no, I'm talking not
media.
like
media, like movies. It's gonna be able to stream 4K.
do
Like
people are saying
Netflix
you can
and
do it
Hulu
with.
and stuff.
I'm not talking about like native. I'm just talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, you mean upscaling?
Upscale.
Yeah, I don't
Supposedly-
think so.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
No,
I know they have the 4K Blu-ray player in it, and
Yeah.
media.
I
The
think
big
I
thing
think
is
that's
media.
I think that's the. I could be wrong. But I don't remember hearing that specifically. I remember hearing like it's going to be able to play movies and stream Netflix and stuff in 4K, not upscale things to 4K. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
It does support this HDR thing,
Yeah.
which is like higher contrast between white and black.
Yep.
But you'll only take advantage of it if your TV supports it.
Yeah.
So that's one little thing that is a little bit different.
It's
than
a
the
nice
original
price
Xbox.
too, only like 300. So I
Yeah,
mean,
300 for a 500 gigabyte
oh yeah,
model.
that's right. That's right.
If you want a terabyte, it's
like
350,
Yep.
and then 400 400 if
For
you
two.
want 2 terabytes.
Which is honestly, those are
Which
all
is-
good deals.
It'll
Like,
be the first console that has a 2 terabyte drive
That's
installed inside of it.
questionable whether or not that's considered a good deal. I mean,
Well, no, it's not.
well, I mean, I'm just saying, like for the average consumer, it's not too bad.
I mean, it's a huge premium for storage space.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, it doesn't really cost that much more. I think.
Oh no, I know what you guys. If you guys are talking about just for the price for terabytes, then
Yeah.
yeah. Oh no, we're all getting ripped off when it comes
Yeah.
to the whole terabyte and console.
I wonder if
thing.
it will be
I
replaceable.
don't understand why they don't put like a full terabyte or 2 terabytes and make them into the flash drives, those solid state drives that you could just quickly pull off of. Because I noticed that sometimes you just have these massive loading things, not simply because of rendering times, but because your actual console is trying to load the game itself.
Yeah, off the hard drive, which is too slow.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it'll be interchangeable. Like you'll be able to swap in new hard
No.
drives in there. Like Xbox 360 used to do that.
Yeah,
And
I thought you can do
PlayStation-
that with a
Now with an
the
Xbox
one. No.
you have external storage. That's the
External,
only
that's what it
option.
is.
So it's like PlayStation, you could take the hard drive out and put a new one in, but
Yeah.
no external storage.
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
yeah.
but in vice versa for the Xbox One.
Gotcha.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, but if I guess that's really where, that's what people are gonna remember the Microsoft conference for, was the Scorpio and the Slim.
Yeah.
Not really for the games necessarily, because
Um,
besides State of Decay and Recore, we didn't really see anything new. I feel like they're gonna hold off till Gamescom. We'll probably see more on Crackdown and.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Did they show much on Sea of Thieves? I don't really remember.
Yeah, they had a gameplay demo. It was dumb. They had
Yeah.
like streamers doing it.
Oh yeah, I
trying to
heard
be,
they were
trying to be
all
funny and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. I mean,
overly
for better or
enthusiastic.
worse, it showed the gameplay.
Yeah.
And it seems pretty cool. You get a crew together and you sail a boat.
Yeah,
and
dude,
attack
like-
other boats and look for treasure.
So
Like
if you, it's like how like Black Flag did
Yeah.
it, but you're actually all of the guys you're playing, like you're all having a role within the boat.
Yeah.
You all do.
There's
something.
a lookout. There'll be
Yeah.
a captain. There'll be somebody that steers the boat and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So,
So that's
yeah,
cool.
it could be cool.
But
I'm a little bit
Yeah.
wishy-washy on it, but we'll see how it pans out. The only other thing for the Microsoft conference that I wanted to bring up was We Happy Few.
Yep.
Because I thought that was a really cool looking demo.
We're of different opinions on that.
It has it's kind of like BioShock art style.
I didn't see it. So.
And it's all it's about this future where everybody's kind of medicated to be happy all the time, almost to the point that they're hallucinating. Well,
Yep.
to the point that they're hallucinating, and you're playing this character that's decided to not take his medication, so it's kind of wearing off.
Oh, okay.
And there's this really weird scene where you're hitting a piñata, and then it turns out you're beating a dead rat.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
And it's about you trying to get away from these people coming after you because you're not taking your medication and you're seeing the world for what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was a really cool stylized introduction to the game
Yeah.
that I had heard about the game before, but I didn't really know what it was about.
Now, is this an indie or is it
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
AAA?
it's one
okay.
of their ID at Xbox games.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Apparently, there may be a game preview now
Yeah.
on Xbox One. I haven't checked into that. They mentioned something about that. If it's now or later, I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on that.